Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian is a Weirdo. Um, this is gonna be a pretty short video because I've got to go pick up Mel from her massage. But I have been a little unmotivated since I got back from treatment, and I, I don't, I like the things that usually pop to my brain about like what to do. I'm kind of a little iffy on. So, Um, if you have watched any of my past couple of videos, I showed off a little less than half of this shawl that I did. It's a modified stitch from the stitch book that I got, and I'm really happy with it. I feel like Mel said it looks like a ghillie claw, ghillie knit, whatever. I agree, even though I barely know what that is. But I really like it. It's very mossy. Gives Swamp Witch 110%. I ordered more yarn so that I can actually finish that, not just keep on showing the same half of a shawl. But I had this idea where I was like, I kind of want to like layer shawls. Like that's gonna be the thing this year, I think. So because just like one shawl, I just feel like doesn't really. Hi, Carrie. Hi, girlfriend. Um, so I have this beautiful yarn that I'm obsessed with. So it can be really hard to see on camera, but it is a brown yarn, like chocolate brown yarn, and then it has a ton of gold specks in it. It's not the softest. In fact, it's pretty scratchy. So, like a lot of wearables would be out of the question with it. I have no idea the fiber content, and I have two of these. They were $3 each at the Scrap Exchange, which is the like thrift store kind of thing that I go to and like to get yarn at. But you kind of gamble with it because you don't really know what you're getting. I don't know yardage. I don't know how much. It had no tape on it other than the tape to hold it together. That told me it was $3, and I was like, okay. But it's perfectly swamp witchy. It has a little tiny bit of stretch to it. It's probably a 3 weight. I wouldn't classify that as a 4. I mean, yeah, it's pretty thin. I would say that's a 3 weight. It looks kind of like similar to like ice cream yarn thickness, but it's also like if I like really look at it, it looks like it might be like kind of chain spun. Yeah, it looks like it's chain spun with the gold in it. It's so pretty, and I think it would like I'm kind of torn on like what I want to do. So I think I want to do a triangular shawl with this. Because I have a reference picture that's kind of been my guiding light in the Swamp Witch era of my life. And the picture has a triangular shawl. And I was like, okay, this yarn, I'll use that. Um, I think it will like it shows some texture for sure, but it's also gonna muddy some texture. So I don't want to do just like a single or double crochet um, shawl because I want something a little bit more exciting just to keep me doing it. I tend to get bored very easily, so a stitch that I kind of have to think about tends to help me continue to do something. So if you have any suggestions, if you want to link videos, or you just want to say like, hey, this person did this shawl and this stitch and it looked really nice, anything like that, I would be very appreciative of because I'm coming up with about 0 things to do with this. Like I know I want to make a shawl. I know it's going to be murder on my fingers to keep tension, but that's the price you pay for beautiful yarns. So I've got 2 of these. Like I said, they're about the same fullness in how much is on the cone. I imagine it's quite a bit of yardage. No idea how much. No idea how to even estimate how much. I don't know what brand it is. I don't know what it's made out of. All I know is that it's about a 3 weight and it's pretty scratchy, a little stretchy, and I want to make a shawl out of it. So that's kind of my dilemma there. But I think in my layered shawl look, I think that this will look really cool, under that, like See how cool that looks? It looks even cooler than I expected. I'm like, whoa, great idea, Ian. So yeah, so I want to do something like that where it's more of a solid shawl. I don't want like a bunch of big gaps in it. I want something pretty solid, but I'm not quite sure what to do. Gotta get going to dinner. Yeah, I understand. It's about that time. Yeah, I have to go get Mel in like 30 minutes. She's getting massage and a facial. She's living the dream. So, and I've had a pretty bad day up till this point. So I'm just trying to turn it around with some inspiration. So I don't want this to get all tangled up because if it gets all tangled up, I'm just gonna throw the cone out the window. I'm like, you're $3. I don't care. But I love this yarn. I fell in love with it immediately. It definitely gave me Swamp Witch, but like um the sparkle of the gold is like so good. There was one, I'm not sure I got it. I think I did actually. So there was a cone that had gold with gold uh like whatever this is made out of, like polyester or whatever. Um, and I only have like this much of it, so I have a lot less of that. So I don't think I'm going to be able to fully make anything out of that. I think that's just going to be like maybe accents or something like that. But because it's so scratchy, I wouldn't even want it for like a border or anything because it's just not going to be super comfortable. But I know that this will have its purpose somewhere, and it's just so pretty. Like even on like the because I have an overhead ring light, and then I just have a standard lamp, and then not a whole light coming throughout here, and just like the gold just pops. It makes it look like almost oil spilly or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for shawls that I can do, especially free shawls, that would be awesome. Free patterns because I'm cheap. um, but yeah, it's so thin, and because I want it to be fairly solid, I don't want to use like a super small hook and have it take me like 400 years to make one freaking shawl. Um, but yeah, I think that that's gonna be it's gonna be kind of like a swamp witch hobo, like just like layers and I just want I kind of want that look of just kind of like distress and and I could even I feel like because it'll be under other layers like this, I don't feel like there's a lot of reason to put like distressing into the shawl that I make. So that's one thing I don't have to worry about. Um, but I mean, just like look at that. Isn't it just spooky? I love it. So yeah, I'm really excited to finish this shawl. It's really fun to make. Pretty easy to get turned around and like start crocheting up the side. You're like, fuck. You gotta frog all that, and then you gotta do more. Um, but I will be sharing this pattern eventually on my Etsy once I finish the shawl, so that I can give like accurate measurements and yarn amounts and stuff like that. This is with Big Twist. This is one full skein of Big Twist value. And I think it's perfect size. I want to modify the pattern too to also make kind of like is that a trapezoid? Like a triangular shawl, but it doesn't come out to a point. It flattens out at the bottom. I want to kind of make up an increase and decrease for this so that you can make different shapes if you want, because I think this would be really gorgeous if it just was like triangular here and then I don't feel like it necessarily needs a triangular bottom, but if you wanted to, you would have the increases and decreases, so you could do things yourself. So yeah. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I am hopelessly lost, and I'm just gonna be googling a bunch. But if you see this yarn and you're like, what would be great, then please let me know. I appreciate that. So I am gonna get going, but I will talk to you all later. Love you. Bye.